welcome to my April TBR. Today's video is a little bit different from the ones I've done before because this time I'm not going to use any script. In the past two videos I wrote down every single sentence and just literally read it aloud in front of this camera, which I don't think is good for my English speaking practice. Because I have to talk spontaneously. So why not challenge myself a bit? So you're going to see lots of mistakes, I'm sure. Sorry. Oh, but I do have a little note just to make sure what I'm going to say. Well, anyway, let's get started. The first book I'm going to read is Hollow City by Ransom. This is the second book of the series, the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. And actually I'm almost done with this book and I'm really enjoying it, although I do find the pacing a little bit slow, but that doesn't matter for me. I love this book because it's so unique. I've never read a book, a fiction, which has authentic photos. It's really new to me. I think this book is aimed mainly at children or young adults. I do find its English quite difficult to understand for me personally, because this kind of YA book can have lots of slangs. If you study foreign language, whatever it is, you'd know that you don't see slangs on your textbooks. So slangs, yeah, those are really challenging for me. Well, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of it. The second book I'm going to read is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The only Jane Austen I've ever read is Northanger Abbey. I read that because I was interested in the Gothic, although it turned out to be more of a kind of parody of the Gothic, a parody of Gothic novels. I've watched the film adaptation over and over again. I mean, the one starring, who was it? The one starring Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley, am I right? I want to read this book because I think this is, again, in terms of its English, it's a good way to understand the culture of sarcasm. Sarcasm is something I find it difficult to understand, especially when it comes to reading a book in a foreign language. I tend to take things seriously. This is gonna be a hard read, but I'm hoping it's rewarding, and most importantly, I'm sure it's going to be enjoyable in terms of its story or content. Yeah. The third book I'm going to read is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. Again, this is classics, one of the classics, and I have never ever read any Virginia Woolf. I thought it's about time I read this book. I mean, I think this is the best book to kickstart Virginia Woolf. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to it. And thankfully, it's quite short. Those three books are books I really want to finish this month. But if I have enough time, I also want to read this book, Useful Works vs. Useless Toil by William Morris. I became interested in William Morris when I was in the UK last year. I've even been to the William Morris Gallery somewhere in London. I forgot the name. And I just love his philosophy, although I'm not an expert on him. So I thought it'd be interesting to explore his essay. Is it an essay? So I'm really looking forward to it, although I'm not sure if I have enough time to read this. I hope I do. But term is going to start this month, so I'm sure it's gonna be a busy month, or also next month I have to take an English exam called IELTS. So I've got to study, and this is part of the study. I mean, practice speaking. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you've read any of those books I mentioned here, please leave a comment. I'll see you next time.